the embrace of nuclear power globally has really been driving a uranium market. We see a steadily increasing demand for uranium. With countries pledging to double and even triple the use of nuclear power between now and 2050.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Wayne Hiley. He is the CEO of Peninsula Energy. And Wayne, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Great. It's great to see you as well, Steve, and nice to be joining you here today.
Yeah, excited to have you along, especially because you got significant news out about your Lance project. We'll talk about them in just a second, but let's take a step back and tell me a little bit about the Lance project.
Well, Peninsula's Lance project is really a world-class uranium production asset. We've been idled since 2019, and then we've been transitioning the project from a alkaline in situ recovery project to a low pH in situ recovery project, aiming to be the first company in the United States utilizing the world-leading low pH in situ recovery process. So we've been working very hard to transition our project from the alkaline to low pH over the years, and we were close to restarting last year when we had a hiccup. We had to go and build an expanded plant facility, and we've been working on financing and building that plant facility for the last year and a half. Today, we're ready to announce that we're getting production back online.
Yeah, this is obviously a huge and significant step for the company, Wayne, and a lot of hard work has gone into this. So, what does that mean to begin production? What are you going to be doing?
Well, we have uranium flowing now, uranium solutions flowing from our well field into our plant. We're beginning to capture uranium on ion exchange resins, and over the course of the next 2 to 3 months, we will be sequentially uh, commissioning our new circuits in our brand new fully operable central processing plant, so that we'll become an end-to-end producer of the finished product, dry yellowcake.
So obviously, Wayne, there's going to be some steps involved in this commencement of production. So can you sort of talk to me about what the next 3 to 4 months is going to look like compared to what's going to be like in 6 months to a year?
Right. So, our plant construction is still ongoing as we're beginning to capture uranium and produce uranium onto resins, ion exchange resins. The next step for us will be to complete the construction of the resin elution and then solution uranium precipitation circuits. So we think in January we should be ready to start eluting loaded resins and generating yellowcake precipitate. February or thereabouts, we should have our drying circuits completely constructed, and we'll be producing first dry yellowcake in late February, early March. From there, we'll be looking at first shipments and first sales in this second quarter of 2025. So, it's commissioning is an interesting stage. We have a lot to go through. We have some construction to complete, but 6 months from now, we're going to be established as a uranium producer selling yellowcake to our customers.
Yeah, that's obviously significant. You mentioned earlier about being the only one in the United States. Right now, there is a desperate need for more of what you have. Are you sensing that as well?
Absolutely. The embrace of nuclear power globally has really been driving a uranium market. We see a steadily increasing demand for uranium. With countries pledging to double and even triple the use of nuclear power between now and 2050. The market for uranium is just on an up and up trend, and uranium prices over the long term should be very significantly higher than they are today. So we think this is a great time to get a project up and running to become a dependable supplier to the North American and European nuclear power markets.
Yeah. And last question, Wayne. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this, it's been a lot of hard work, and you mentioned the a setback that you had to overcome. What is going through your mind today when you sort of say to yourself, "We finally, got the first step of what we were trying to do accomplished"?
Well, I'm really, really proud of the team at Peninsula, the management and the site team. We have endured, a lot of tribulations on our way to this point in time. So this is a moment for us to celebrate as a company, to recognize the enduring commitment of the employees of Peninsula, and to recognize their professionalism and capability. 2025 and beyond is going to be really great for Peninsula, so for me, just personally, all the work, the hard work that's gone into this, and the team, and management. It's time to just sit back and say, here we are. We're at the finish line. We're starting production. What a great moment.
Exciting times for sure. Wayne, thank you so much. Great to see you again.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. There's Wayne Hiley, the CEO of Peninsula Energy.